Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today we're going to be talking about evolutions. Now, there have been a lot more evolutions being added to the game and stuff like that, especially with the brand new Nightmare Realm being added to the game, adding a just more hardcore version of the game and a hardcore playstyle required in order to actually defeat, and that comes with the brand new evolutions. Now, the deal is, right, is that I don't think a lot of people get this, but you have to be level 50 in order to actually get to the Nightmare Realm. We did talk about it in the update video, but just as a clarification, you cannot enter this until you're level 50, which means that, you can get in here, but you cannot touch these things at all, which we will talk about right now. First things first, we're just going to talk about the generally easier evolutions to get for those newer players that want understanding on which ones you should try and true for. And one of those I want to talk about is definitely the event one. Now, from what I was told, the event's going to restart, but all you need is about 8 of these and 6 of these in order to evolve the brand new units. The winter event units, which are going to be here as long as you log in every single day, do your daily quests that you can do, but also do the stalking farming method that I was talking about in my other video, so you guys could get a better understanding of how that works. I wonder if I actually got my rewards for level 50. I did. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so let's talk about the other evolutions that you guys can get in the early game and talk about which ones are kind of worth going for and which ones are kind of not worth going for. Now, evolutions do change, obviously. I think they do change dependent on the character and stuff like that, because with some evolutions, some characters, actually I think it'll be easier if I did it through here so I won't get kicked out. There we go. So, some evolutions are different than others, and some evolutions require higher recommendations. How do you say? They require you to get further into the game, is the best way I could put it. Now, the problem with this, right, is that most of the evolutions pretty much cost the same amount of materials for every evolution. I'll show you guys what that kind of looks like, which I do hope they can chop that in half. I'm going to try to ask that they do that, because right now grinding for these lower level evolutions, which should be a lot easier to do, is unnecessarily hard compared to me spending my worth in time and money on getting Frosty and Krampus evolved. They shouldn't be on the same type of scale, nor should Krampus and Frosty cost as much as they do, even though it is kind of Frosty was probably the easiest one for me to do, but that is what it is. We'll talk more about that later. So, with the evolution, as you can see, it does require you to do easy, medium, and hard in order to get the best chances at actually getting these masks and evolution items. Here you have the mask to evolve Undertaker. Here you have the toolkit to evolve SCP-3008. Over here you have the evolution for Scarecrow. Now, the thing about these evolutions is that there's some evolutions you just don't want to go for, because some of these evolutions either make the character a completely different character you don't want, or make them kind of worse than they originally were. It's just some cases, like with Scarecrow and stuff like that. We have the Ankh. The Ankh, which is for the Mummy. Mummy did just get a rework. We have the Pulse Switch for Frankenstein. He's not bad. He's just another damage unit. And then we have the Syringe for the Plague Doctor, which just came out for Krampus. Now, I will talk about some of the evolutions you should go for, some that you shouldn't go for as a new player. And I think that Frosty should be number 1 on your list. The others that you could go for is maybe some early game evolutions. But like I said, I would wait till they're cheaper. Like the Undertaker evolution costs way too much for you to kind of go for a character that's slightly better than it was before. It's just too darn expensive to go for. You're wasting so many rainbow sigils when Frosty was just much cheaper. Frosty was only 3 rainbow sigils. Slenderman, he's the hardest one to go for because he's one of the newest ones coming out with the brand new secret evolution. So he is going to be ridiculous, and I don't think that these characters are actually worth going for, especially as a new player, because even this one right here, it's very cheap, but the amount of content that you have to push through, you're probably not going to be able to do it. And we'll talk about that in a second, because it does change the characters in general. As you can see, it goes from assassin to range, which makes this character a lot better, and probably a much better unit than Scarecrow in the late game. Then we have characters like this, which is kind of like stick around in that melee category, which in theory is nice, but melee units are not meta right now. It's actually ranged units that are meta. You could say, oh, but my tank is very broken. Yes, your tank is very broken by itself. And mostly the only characters that people throw in there is like the secret tanks in there. And then after that, it's like, you can't really say you're doing too much. The new Scarecrow is cheaper to go for, but the only problem is with this character is that I do not know if it's going to be worth it, because healing is not my favorite in the game. Healing doesn't help when your characters when your characters have like 5,000 HP and they get one shot. So it's like, is this worth it? It's still up to chance. Scarecrow, probably not worth it at all, because it changes into an assassin less than a support. So if a Scarecrow has to get up close and personal, assassin characters fall off very quickly in this game. Just because there's no real help for assassins, they end up getting absolutely wiped super quickly the second they either become visible, or if they don't even go visible, they just get stabbed first. Frankenstein is not bad. I actually do believe that Frankenstein is actually a very nice one. Or in general, Frankenstein's monster, by the way. This actually might be one of the more free-to-play ones you should go for, because it does work with the cricket method. The Mummy did just get an Evo, but I don't understand where this makes sense, due to the fact that Mummy, originally the Mummy, if you do not know, he needs to die in order to actually become usable. I'll just show you guys. Oh no, the original one. Like, after this one, whenever you evolve him, whenever he dies, he gives you money back for the evolution. I don't know if that's going to work for the ranged version. I'd have to see the new ranged version stats to really get a better understanding of if this character is worth it. Because, you know, it's still a little expensive, man. You still got to farm onks. You still got to do rainbow sigils. It costs a lot when you can just go for the same thing, but know that this is going to be a good character. I actually might go for Frankenstein myself, because he's actually not bad. Yep. Besides that, though, the brand new evolutions, we're going to talk about those now. Those brand new evolutions are part of the new Nightmare Realm, which is just super hard to do. If you're not like someone who grinds your butt off and like just uses up a bunch of your time, honestly, this grind is really not worth it for the average player, just because it's so ridiculously hard. But as you can see, this is where you get your new evil tapes. This is where you get your new void eyes, Mad Hatter teacup. There you go. Now, do I think the rewards are better here? I do not think so at all. I think the rewards here are actually garbage. Actually trash. Because you're getting 50 gems when I can go do hard mode in a very easy level and get 50 gems. Getting 500 coins. This is not worth me breaking my back in order to do this ridiculous grind. The only character that's kind of worth grinding for here is whenever you get evil tapes for the grunge. You know, she's probably going to be very decent. But, you know, besides that, though, there's really not much to really go for here. Yeah, because I might go for Frankenstein. But what we need, though, is we need evolution materials to be easier to get. We need things like, what's another good one? We need evolution materials that are going to be easier to get. We need more items and itemization. Freaking maybe even a new system, because so far it's just been traits, and mainly traits and tier rerolls, and then that's kind of it. So I mean, it's been pretty okay at best, honestly. I don't know. That and just the rewards are pretty mediocre. We do need better rewards for sure. Let's see. Agility crit. Is that even worth it? I don't think so. They're both purples. I hate purple. They're just slightly worse gold. Crit 2, health 2? No, thank you. I'd rather take a bank 1 than those. All right. Well, that kind of does it. I hope you guys have a better understanding of where your evolutions are, which characters you should be aiming for, and such. Because right now, it should just be a focus of you getting your characters to max level, you making sure that these units are incredibly useful to you and your team and your party. The meta is going to change significantly over time, but as of this moment, you just need to be ready with whatever you can get right now before the winter event is over. And hopefully it does, like, end in your favor, especially because there's a lot of stuff in here that's kind of worth getting. For instance, the 500 gems you could grab, the coins, the amount of souls you could get, the dice, and then the little bit of tickets that you could grab. I've grabbed some of these tickets before, rainbow sigils. So, good luck on your evolutions. I hope you guys are lucky. If you're not lucky, then I'm sorry. Freaking, you just got to keep grinding and grinding and grinding until you end up getting lucky. And hopefully a lot of stuff changes in this game to make it easier and more playable for new players. I mean, understandably, I'm just going to speak about the end game just a little bit. The end game is mostly for the people that want to grind their butts off and they want to just, like, be the best. But that's like a small 0.2% of what the entire community is. Uh, I mean, they are the biggest outcriers for, like, whatever gets changed and stuff like that. So it's like, I feel like some more quality of life changes will bring the game to, like, a much more breathable standpoint. Because right now there's just a lot of players that just don't feel like grinding very hard. All right, dudes, take it easy and peace.